Okay, so making the pie crust, I have sifted 2 cups of flour into this bowl. So I'm gonna add that to my bigger bowl. And then I am going to do 2/3 of the Crisco. I don't know why there's not a 2/3 cup measuring cup. So there used to be, when I was a kid, I remember using it when we were baking, and now all I can find is 1/3. So I have to do 2 1/3 cups, which is super annoying. I'm gonna add my 1 teaspoon of salt. So it just kind of looks like this. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pastry knife here and I'm gonna start cutting it in. And it's gonna take a while and your butter's gonna get stuck on there. And you're just trying to cut the butter into the flour, and it doesn't always love to go in. So it takes a minute. But once you kind of start getting it worked in, can you see that okay? Okay. Then we're gonna start adding the water. Now, my recipe says 1/4 cup to 3/4 cup of water. And depending on how your environment has seemed to make a difference on how much water I use in this. So I'm gonna just work by consistency. So I'm gonna start with just a little bit at a time, and I make sure my water is pretty cold, so when I get set up, I'll put this in the refrigerator and I'll get it cold. It just brings the flour together, and again, it'll start sticking. And I'll just scrape it off here. Okay. And I'm just working flour in with the knife. And I don't want it to be too wet, because then it will not roll out well. I don't want it to be too dry. Just a tad more, because I really want to incorporate every bit of flour that's in the bottom of the bowl. And I just kind of use my knife to do that, and you can kind of see as we're pinching it together, it's a little dry still, because it should want to just be together like a Play-Doh almost. So just a tad bit more. So I would guess that I have used about 1/2 of a cup of cold water. Now, as you can see, as I'm doing it, it's just wanting to stick together as I work my knife through. So I get this nice big clump. And then I can clean off my pastry knife, just clean as can be. So that's a good consistency. Now, if you're making 2 small pies, this will do that. You would break this into 2 balls, and then you'd have your bottom crust and your top crust. But I'm making a pecan pie that doesn't require a top crust, and I have this larger pie plate. So I'm gonna just take a small amount off of there. Maybe I'll use this to use a cookie cutter and make a decorative top on my pecan pie. That always makes it kind of fun when you're making a pumpkin pie or something that doesn't require a top crust. So I've prepared my counter with some flour, and I'm gonna just put it on there, and I'm gonna flip it over so that there's flour on both sides. That helps to not let it stick to your counter. And I like to close up all the creases, because when you start rolling, you're going to start seeing that your pie crust wants to splinter out. And you can just put your flour on your roller, and you're gonna kind of roll in a circular motion, bringing these edges together, also while spreading your dough out evenly. See how nicely the edges are looking? These edges are looking a little bit separated, so I'm gonna put them together like that. I really like my edges to not fray at it. It's coming across really well. It's still pretty thick. You wanna make sure that even though as you're turning it, you're starting from the middle, so that the middle of your crust isn't thicker than the edges. So we're still keeping in a circular pattern, for the most part. You'll trim off the parts that are frayed at the edges. Okay, so I have my pie crust large enough. I'll bring my pie plate over. I'm going to very gently take my pie crust and fold it in half, okay? And then I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to put it halfway into the pan, leaving an edge, and fold it that way. Isn't that pretty? So just a little blanket of dough over my pie plate. Let the edges come in. Now this is ready for filling, so at this point I would start making my filling, but obviously the outside edges are kind of long. So depending on how much crust you like, I like a lot of crust on the edges, so I like to fold it under like this to give a really nice thick edge. Some people don't like as much crust, so if you don't, you can cut along the edge of your pie plate, leaving it less crusty. But to me, the more crust, the more whipping cream or ice cream you can eat with it and dip your crust in. That's just the way I like to eat my pie. So this pie plate is by Pioneer Woman. The other reason I like it, not only it's deep and you can put a lot of pie in there, but it already has the little edges cut out. So all you have to do is just gently press your pie crust into the pre-made edges. Otherwise you have to make your own. So once you do this, you can kind of just fix those little spots that aren't perfect, and you can just mess with it as much as you want to give it that beautiful look. And then with your extra, you can roll this out and use your favorite cookie cutter. And I like to do, if I'm making this in the fall, I'll use leaf cookie cutters and put it on top of my pie. Or if I'm making something for 4th of July, I'll cut out a flag or little cherries and put it on top of my open face pie. So easy, that's how you make pie crust.